What is up everyone, and welcome to another episode here at A Healthy Dose of Fran. Today I'm doing something a little bit of a mixture of books and Avatar, and I want to recommend some books that I think you should read if you love Avatar. So let's get into it. So first up we have the Kiyoshi novels, because if you haven't read these books, are you really an Avatar fan? I am joking slightly because I know they've not been translated into many languages, and also I don't think the audiobook is available in most places. But besides the point, if you can go read these books, go read these books. Even if it's just picking it up at a library or anything like that, go read these two novels. They expand further into the Avatar universe, the characters. Oh my god, gonna say something controversial. The Rise of Kiyoshi novels are better than the two shows. I am just saying. But the two books, they really do expand on the characters in the universe, and I think if you are an Avatar fan, you will really benefit from reading these books. Next up is the Percy Jackson series. Firstly, we've got a waterbender that's basically the main character, but also the journey of our main characters with Percy and Annabeth and Grover. They kind of represent a lot of what we see in the characters in Avatar, and particularly I think with Korra as well. I think Korra and Percy are similar-ish with their personalities and their sort of the fact that they want to keep going on these quests and these journeys to help stop the bad guys, even if they're not the most capable. And the finale for the first series of Percy Jackson, so Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I think Percy's decision represents so much of Korra's journey. And for anyone who knows these series, you will know slightly what I'm talking about, and I may have to do a video on this in the future. But yes, the Percy Jackson series, and probably all the subsequent books as well. If you especially like Legend of Korra, I think you will like Percy Jackson. Following on from that, now this is technically still slightly Percy Jackson related, but also not, but it is a book from the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, which is writers who are from different backgrounds and are writing about different mythology. In this case, it's Korean mythology with The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim, and I'm just saying I did an interview with Gracie Kim if you want to go check that out. The reason why I think The Last Fallen Star and the series that will be coming out with that as well, because this is the first book in, I think it's going to be like a, I think, 5-book series?
I'm afraid you couldn't be more wrong.
Is the magic system and the character relationships, but particularly the magic system. I think the magic system in The Last Fallen Star is something that I think is really, really interesting. And for people who are really interested in the world building of Avatar, I think you will really appreciate the world building in The Last Fallen Star. There's so much about it that I think is just, it's just fascinating. The different clans, and particularly as named by the gifted clans, there are, oh god, I always get the number wrong. I think there are 5 or 6 different clans, and each of them represents something different in terms of like a different strength. Similar to the elements as well, so earthbenders are particularly strong-willed, airbenders are free-spirited, and so on and so forth. And I think that's similar to the gifted clans and the way in which their magic works. I would also add in that the main character in The Last Fallen Star feels very much like an Aang type character, but also a little bit of Korra as well. But mostly actually I think Kiyoshi in the Kiyoshi novels specifically is this sort of, they feel like an outsider to everything that is going on, and this is the character of Riley. And I think that it's just such a fascinating story, and I'm really excited for the following books. And yeah, so Last Fallen Star, if you like Avatar, go read. Next up I would say would be the Tales of Earthsea series. Now if you've seen the film, well, the Studio Ghibli film in particular, nothing like the books. Just going to put that out there. If you're thinking of what the film is like, that's what the books are going to be like. No. The books are incredible, and there are 4 or 5 main books in it. But either way, so the world building in it particular, especially the connection to water. Like, sea travel is basically the only way in which you can travel in this world, and oh, it's such a fascinating world building in general, just the connection to the ocean. But also, I feel like Earthsea is the one that's most closely connected to Avatar, in that, at least from the fantasy stories that I've read, it is one of the first series that I've connected to that, especially from the time that it was in with Ursula Le Guin, is that it's the first one that explores fantasy characters that aren't just white. the different ethnicity and the different backgrounds of these characters, even though it is a fantasy world, is so diverse, and considering when these books were written, that is very, very rare, at least from what I've read, admittedly. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I'm sorry, please do not come after me. But Ursula Le Guin's characters, but mostly her world and magic building, magic system and world building, oh my god, are so incredible. But they tie so well to Avatar as well, with how the world works and the power of names as well. Names are so important in the Earthsea series, and it's things like that that kind of make me think of Avatar. And I don't want to get too much into it because I think it's something you want to experience fully on its own without being given too much background. But I highly do recommend the Tales of Earthsea series if you like Avatar. The next thing that I want to recommend is the Northern Lights trilogy by Philip Pullman, also known as Golden Compass and so on and so forth, but not like the movie. But the books, now admittedly, I do have an issue with the final book, so I kind of just don't read the final book and I'm rereading the series. But the first two books in particular, and especially the first book as well, although I think The Subtle Knife, the sequel, is the best of the three. The character relationships, especially considering the characters are children in this series, they're all, I think they're like 12 or 13 is like the age range for these two characters. They have the same sort of sentimentality as the original gang in Avatar The Last Airbender, especially Lyra. Lyra, I think, is a character that is like a mixture of Toph, Aang and Sokka in one character. I absolutely love it. But just the story and the hero's journey and an element of it as well. But the Northern Lights trilogy by Philip Pullman, if you like Avatar, you'll like this. And then sort of finally, but also kind of not, and also kind of sort of connected to Avatar, but this one is definitely a more adult sort of story, which is why I think it would connect more to the Kiyoshi books and a little bit of Legend of Korra than Avatar The Last Airbender. And that is the Rage of Dragon series by Evan Winters. Is it Winters or Winters? I think it's Winters. So sorry. So I've only read the two books so far because that's the only ones that are out. But this is meant to be a multi-book series. And the characters in this story, so not even about the world is really, really interesting. I mean, come on, it's got dragons. Like, that alone is interesting. But the characters and their motivation, if you like Zuko and if you like Korra, you will like the main character in this story. That is all I'm going to say about it, because I think this is a series that lots of people kind of need to experience to kind of get it. Yes, so the Rage of Dragon series, definitely recommend. And I know I said the last one is lastly, but actually I want to do this one first as well, because this is actually a friend of mine, and also a book that I was involved with as well as an editor type person. So I'm slightly biased, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that is TJ Young and the Urishas, which is coming out whenever this video comes out on Juneteenth. Is that 19th or 18th? We don't have that in the UK. So this book comes out on June 19th. And TJ Young and the Urishas by Antoine Bandelet here on YouTube. And I'm going to link his YouTube channel below and card it if I can as well. So firstly, Antoine is an incredible author in general. I also recommend his other books by Sea and Sky, The Kiyoshi, and I think those are the only ones that I've read. By Sea and Sky is going to be a trilogy, I believe. So the other book for that is coming out this year as well. But TJ Young and the Urishas specifically, I think, connects very well to Avatar, as well as Percy Jackson for any Percy Jackson fans out there. The Urishas in this story and the magic system, the characters, TJ as a character, love, adore, stan, love. But also all the other characters that we meet, and I don't want to talk about them because I want you guys to experience the story for yourself. And yes, I know I said I was involved with the story, I love the story because I've read it, but oh my god, you guys will love the story, my unbiased opinion aside. So I highly recommend. So depending on when this video comes out, you can either be pre-ordering it now or you could already be buying it. also depending on when you guys watch this video. But TJ Young and the Urishas by Antoine Bandelet. If you love Avatar, you're gonna love it. And now I am done with my list. So these are all books that, in my opinion, connect so well to the Avatar universe, and something that you can just enjoy if you enjoy Avatar. They may not be for everyone, but they were definitely for me, and they felt like Avatar-esque, or sort of like the heart of what Avatar is. So yeah, if you want more things to add to your TBR, these are ones that you can add to your TBR. But anyway, if you guys have your own recommendations to me or to anyone else who may be watching this video of books that you feel, or even shows maybe as well, maybe I should do TV shows next time as well, of things that you feel connect to the heart of Avatar in stories, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love some more recommendations. But yeah, if you actually end up reading these books and enjoying them, come back and let me know in the comment section as well, because I would love to know what other people think of these series. But in general, thank you all so much for joining me for this video. It has been an absolute blast. As always, if you'd like to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my social media in the description box down below. If you want to support me, hit me up on Patreon, or, you know, like I said earlier, just hit subscribe if you can't support me financially. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.